Hello and welcome to Eat Travel Fun. This is Mansi Oza. In today's video, we are going to talk about things you need to keep in mind when you're traveling international destinations for the first time. काफ़ी बार हमने डोमेस्टिक ट्रिप तो की है, पर पहली इंटरनेशनल ट्रिप काफ़ी ट्रिकी होती है. सो आई एम गोइंग टू टॉक अबाउट द पॉइंट्स विच यू नीड टू कीप इन माइंड फॉर योर फर्स्ट इंटरनेशनल ट्रिप. द फर्स्ट थिंग यू नीड टू कीप इन माइंड इज द पासपोर्ट. येस, इंटरनेशनल ट्रैवल करने के लिए पासपोर्ट तो चाहिए, काफ़ी ऑब्वियस पॉइंट है, बट जो ऑब्वियस नहीं है वो है आपका पासपोर्ट का एक्सपायरी डेट. 6 months बिफोर योर एक्सपायरी ऑफ द पासपोर्ट डेट आप एक्चुअली इंटरनेशनल ट्रैवल नहीं कर सकते हो. सो यू हैव टू कीप इन माइंड कि आपका पासपोर्ट कब एक्सपायर हो रहा है, और अगले 6 महीने में अगर एक्सपायर हो रहा है तो आपको रिन्यूअल पहले ही करना चाहिए. काफ़ी बार हम वेट करते हैं कि अरे एक्सपायरी नहीं हुई, हमें रिन्यूअल करने की ज़रूरत नहीं है, बट इफ़ यू हैपन टू हैव एन इंटरनेशनल ट्रिप विद इन दैट पीरियड देन आप ट्रैवल नहीं कर सकते. एनी पासपोर्ट विच आर गोइंग टू एक्सपायर इन नेक्स्ट 6 months आर नॉट अलाउड टू travel internationally. So you have to ensure that you know the expiry of your passport date and you put into renewal before 6 months of the expiry date. The second thing which you need to keep in mind is that when you are traveling, ensure that आपने अपने पासपोर्ट की Xerox कॉपी आपके बैग में भी रखी है. This is only in case अगर आपकी बैग चोरी हो जाती है और अगर आपका पासपोर्ट गुम जाता है, you need to have a copy of your passport. So ensure that you have your copy of the passport in your suitcase, a soft copy on your phone, or even on your email. Ensure that you have a copy handy with you in case of theft. Apart from a passport copy, आपके travel documents की भी एक कॉपी हो. This includes your insurance. This also includes your ticket, your hotel vouchers. अगर आपने सब कुछ अपने मोबाइल में सेव किया है या अगर आपने सिर्फ एक ही कॉपी बनाई है और इन केस कुछ चोरी हो गया, देन आपके पास प्रूफ नहीं रहेगा. To have a backup of your proof, just ensure that you have at least 2 copies of the said document. The next thing you need to keep in mind is currency. It is better that you take the currency of the country you are traveling from India itself, but do not plan to take any currency exchange at the airport. Apart from that, USDs are generally accepted everywhere. So अगर आपके पास extra USD हो और किसी ने अगर आपको USD दिया हो, and even if you are planning to go to Europe, you can still carry the USD because you will get a better exchange rate with USD than with INR. करेंसी के अलावा आप अपने क्रेडिट कार्ड भी यूज कर सकते हो, और यू कैन ऑल्सो यूज द ट्रैवल कार्ड विच अ लॉट ऑफ बैंक इशूज. इन टर्म्स ऑफ क्रेडिट कार्ड, एंश्योर कि आपने इंटरनेशनल ट्रांजैक्शन एक्टिवेट किए हो, एंड बिफोर यू स्वाइप योर कार्ड जस्ट चेक विद योर क्रेडिट कार्ड कंपनी व्हाट परसेंटेज आर दे गोइंग टू चार्ज फॉर द फॉरेन एक्सचेंज. द नेक्स्ट थिंग टू कीप इन माइंड व्हेन यू आर ट्रैवलिंग टू योर इंटरनेशनल डेस्टिनेशन फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम is to remember that where you're going, which hotel are you staying, and what are your itineraries looks like. जब भी आप इंटरनेशनल एयरपोर्ट पे जाओगे, the immigration officer will ask you what are your plans and why you're visiting that country. It is better that you remember where you are staying and what are your itineraries so that you give them answer confidently. It is also important to remember all the hotel names because अगर कहीं पे आप खो गए हो तो आपको कहाँ पहुँचना है, आपकी itineraries पे अगर आप dependent रहोगे तो आपको पता नहीं चलेगा. So that's why remember the hotel names of each of the locations in case you get lost anywhere during the trip. Now in terms of trip, if you are going for the first time, it is always better to book everything in advance so that you do not face any problem when you are in the new country. But इतना भी booking मत करो कि आपको बीच में सांस लेने का टाइम भी नहीं हो. Keep some time for yourself so that you can explore the country on your own. So in terms of ratio, ensure that 80% of your trip is actually booked, but the 20% of the trip is a free time so that you can explore the city. Now before you travel to any of your first international destination, spend some time knowing that destination in advance. Try to study the culture of the place, the history of the place, importantly language of the place, so when you are there you have an idea about the country. It is also good to know what is allowed and what is not allowed in terms of dressing so that you can dress appropriately when you are traveling in these countries. Now as soon as you land, the first thing you do is go to your hotel. That's why it is better to arrange your airport pickup from the first time of your arrival. The first time you are arriving in the country, figuring out the transportation mode to reach your hotel will be difficult. Try and arrange your airport transfers for the first time so that you have a better understanding, and for the next trip you can plan it on your own and you don't need to do everything in advance. As you are traveling in different countries, it is good to have trust in the people, but also be careful of your belongings. You don't want to trust anyone randomly, और आप ऐसी situation में नहीं हो कि आपका luggage गुम जाए. So that's why ensure that you are always in check with your luggage, and before trusting anyone, do a double check, because it will be the first time you will be traveling to that country and you don't want to start off with a bad experience. If you are traveling to multiple places in a short span of time, then in that case organize your luggage in such a way कि every day आप अगर check in check out कर रहे हो, आप every day luggage के साथ struggle नहीं करो. If your itinerary is filled with check in check out in different hotels on different day, then ensure that you organize your luggage in such a way that you don't end up opening all the luggages in all the places and do a pack up every day, because it will be a little tedious and time consuming and you might lose something, because आप हर बार हर चीज खोलने बैठोगे तो आपको पता नहीं चलेगा आपने कौन सी चीज कहाँ रखी. So that's why what I suggest is that categorize your luggage in such a way that you know only clothes or only other things are in some places, so that you don't end up opening each bag every day. If you are staying in one place for 5 days, then it's not a problem, because you will be staying in one hotel only for 5 days. Now when you're packing, you want to know what kind of weather will be in that country or in that place, so that you can pack appropriate clothes. So before traveling, study the weather of that particular country or a city in advance, so you know whether you need to take winter clothes, summer clothes, spring clothes, fall clothes. Having an idea about the weather and the local news will help you in packing. Now when you are traveling, you want to ensure that you download the right app for those locations. This includes the news app, things to do app, also the local transportation app. For example, in Singapore, Uber doesn't work, so you have to download their local transportation app. So ensure that you study these well in advance and you download those appropriate apps, so that it helps you in traveling in those locations. Something like Google Map, Google Translator, these are must when you are traveling. The next problem you face when you land in a new country is the time difference and the jet lag. This doesn't happen with the short haul destination, but definitely with a long haul destination. If your first trip is either to Europe, Asia Pacific or America, you need to ensure the time difference and you need to monitor your arrival time, so that you don't end up in a jet lag. If you are arriving in the morning, then ensure that you sleep in your flight, so that you don't sleep after landing on those destinations, and vice versa. If you are landing in the night, try to stay awake in the flight so that you can sleep when you enter. This is the easiest way you can get rid of the jet lag, because if you end up doing the same thing like sleeping in the daytime and staying awake in the night time, you will face difficulty in getting over your jet lag. When it comes to traveling and contacting in the new country, it is always better to opt for a local SIM. Local SIMs are easily available at the airport or at the city center, so once you land you can buy directly at the airport and you can use them rather than getting your plans activated from here, because those tends to be the expensive plans. With the latest technology, we actually nowadays fit all the numbers in our mobile phone and we don't memorize them. ऐसी situation में अगर आपका mobile phone गुम हो जाता है, then you will not have these numbers handy with you. That's why it is very important that when you are traveling to an international destination, the local numbers of the important people and important places you note down on a piece of paper and keep it within your bag, so that in case you lost your mobile phone, you still have those numbers written, because we can't trust our memories when such things happen in another country. Now last and the most important thing, you had an amazing international trip, you enjoyed yourself, and now you're coming back home after these wonderful memories. Now the time you want to come back home is very critical, because if you end up coming very late in the night or early in the morning, you will struggle to get adjusted in your routine life. So that's why ensure that your return flights are the most safest and convenient. It helps you not just come back with a minimum stopover and a layover time, but also ensure that you arrive on the right time, so that you have enough time to recover from your jet lag, from your tiredness, before you get back to your normal life. The biggest mistake we do, that we are looking for a cheaper flight option, and because of that we end up taking a flight which has either the longest stopovers or it has one or more stopovers. And to end it on a good note, you need to arrive on a right time. These were the 15 tips to help you plan your first international holiday in the best way possible, so that you have a memorable experience. If you found this video helpful, then give me a big thumbs up. Let me know in the comment section, were these tips helpful, and if you have any tips to give, please feel free to write it in the comment box below. And don't forget to subscribe for your weekly dose of e-travel fun.